Hey traders, Raghee here, and in tonight's free video we're going to be talking about the Canadian dollar. So for some of you that might kind of sound surprising because the story for most people was this FOMC meeting minutes and what was happening with the US dollar. Well, I'm here to tell you that sometimes you don't want to necessarily be just kind of a zombie to the news, to the economic calendar du jour for the day. Because quite frankly, I was already in a number of US dollar plays and not based on the US dollar. In fact, the gift that keeps on giving for us is absolutely the Canadian dollar. And earlier in the day, we got a great economic report to confirm even more Canadian dollar weakness because that's been the play that we've been focusing in on. So yesterday we set up a distribution fade on the Canadian dollar, and that distribution fade took advantage of exhaustion that we expected around the 110 area, actually going down even lower, as you can see here, into 109.40, 109.50. So when everybody else was fixated on what the US dollar was going to do based upon the lows between 80 and 80.20, I was looking at it too, but not from the standpoint of wanting to trade the US dollar, but rather from the standpoint that if the support that we've been talking about for weeks in terms of coming down towards this 80-20 area, and if we do, we start pricing calls, as you can see, we start looking for support. Another byproduct of that support was going to be the follow-through on our dollar loonie. Now this is the setup that we continue to keep an eye on because most of my book is absolutely benefiting from these loonie shorts. So take a look, whether it be the pound loonie, the loonie yen, the euro loonie, the dollar loonie. Selling Canadian dollar, selling the loonie is absolutely where I want most of my energy to be put, because when I put my capital behind that particular trade, I'm getting a healthy return because the clarity on the Canadian dollar weakness continues to be where the market is very certain. Anytime we see some Canadian dollar strength, what happens? The market comes in, takes advantage of that strength by selling into it because it does not believe in a longer term Canadian dollar strength story. So our book was just firing on all cylinders with the Canadian dollar. And while everyone else was focused on the US dollar and the FOMC minutes, we got a relatively stealthy little economic report by way of the wholesale sales release that missed pretty badly, and that set the tone for our morning. And that's what you want to keep in mind. Where is the story the clearest and where can you take advantage of it? Again, don't be a zombie news trader and just follow where everybody else is focusing on if there's not a trade to be had. News alone is not going to give you the trade. News is going to give you the volatility. Sometimes it'll give you the opportunity, but what we focus on in the room day after day is where are the trades at first and foremost. Where is price action giving us an edge? So this dollar loonie chart of the day from yesterday absolutely just fired on both cylinders, meaning I had US dollar strength and then I had Canadian dollar weakness. And as far as US dollar strength goes, and I'll leave you this for the free video today, this was another fade that we took. We're waiting to see if this is going to follow through, but we were not expecting higher highs in that Euro US. I know a lot of people are getting very presumptuously bullish about this Euro US. Be careful about picking a side when the market doesn't have clarity. In other words, when there isn't a clear trend in the market, don't hitch your wagon to expecting the market to continue, in this case, to higher highs. So a little cautionary tale here maybe for the bulls, as the US dollar is definitely helping put a top in that Euro US dollar. All right, in tonight's premium video, I'll be talking about my crude oil, my US dollar, our Dow plays, as well as what we're doing with the yen now that we have some clarity in terms of the market, breathing a sigh of relief here after the FOMC minutes. How are we playing this new, what could be a return back into the range in the Dow, and where are the opportunities? All right, I'll see you in the members area.